procedure. The session is being audio recorded. Please be advised that today we are also recording the video of the proceedings. We will not use the chat feature in this meeting. To ensure sound quality, the default rule for this meeting is that everyone will remain on mute. Commissioners and members and staff will generally remain on mute except when they're speaking or voting. This meeting is open to the public, but it is not a public hearing. Therefore, no members of the public may speak unless specifically invited to do so. If a member of the public creates an audio or video disruption, they may be manually ejected from the meeting upon recommendation of staff or the chair. We appreciate your attendance at this meeting. Should you have any questions, please feel free to contact our staff at 860-444-5813 after the meeting is ended.
Want to watch it?
Okay, I see a couple of icons that I don't recognize. iPhone, who's represented on the iPhone?
Get that big bowl, the big metal
For
bowl,
what?
the sound.
Mirror.
Could you repeat that, please?
Identify yourself.
Hi, this is Jeff Reagan. Sorry.
Okay, all right, Jeff, thank you.
Hi.
And who's represented on the iPad? Would the person on the iPad please identify themselves?
Wade Thomas.
Okay, wait, thank you. And we also have Randy Canfield.
So he can sit both.
Well, before we begin, I just want to be sure that everyone is aware that we have a new clerk.
Put your head in there.
I'm Leanne.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Leanne.
Thank you.
And Geneva's here too. Okay, with that, we'll begin the order of the business. And item number one. Let's see, do we need any alternates? We have the quorum.
We can sit both alternates for
Okay.
Dave and for Jessica.
Okay, very good. Ivy, would you sit for Jessica? And forgive me, oh, Julie, you can sit for Dave.
Okay.
Approval of the item number 2, approval of the January 27 meeting minutes. Is there a motion?
I make a motion
Okay.
to approve the January 27th meeting minutes.
Thank you, Geneva. Wade, you have the second?
Yes, second.
Is there any discussion?
No.
Pretty
Hearing none.
straightforward.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Please let the record show that the motion carried unanimously.
With Julie abstains.
Okay, thank you. Item number 3, application review. C22-1, 42.5 Plain Road. Cleanup and removal of debris. Jeff Reagan, owner and applicant. Review of draft permit. Maureen, any comments?
If I may, Mr. Chair, yeah, I had, at the commission's request, I prepared a draft permit for these activities that are mostly proposed within alluvial floodplain soils and adjacent to open waters and wetlands. There's not that many special conditions. I hope I've touched on them all. I know Commissioner Medelis had one about the refueling, and staff ordered a couple more about no disposal within the wetlands. To mark the limits and clearing and disturbance and coordinate with staff before undertaking the activity, and then to stabilize all disturbed areas. I shared this with the applicant, Mr. Reagan. He had no objections. I hope that's still the case, Jeff.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, so if there's any other special conditions the commission would like to add to this draft before we go to vote.
Okay, any questions, discussion? Is there a motion? Motion will be in order to accept the draft.
Make a motion to accept the draft as written.
Thank you, Wade. Is there a second?
Second.
Ivy, thank you. Any other discussion, questions, or comments? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? If we can proceed, please let the record show that the motion carried unanimously. Item number 4, new applications.
We did receive a new application. It's not on the agenda, Mr. Chair, because the agenda was posted on Tuesday. The application materials were received within the statutory timeframe yesterday, Wednesday, before 4 o'clock. Did something occur?
There's one more person that needs to come in.
Hang on, we have someone else who wants to sit in, I guess. You?
I don't know that one. That one is.
Well, anyway, back to business, but Mr. Chair, there are 2 more people waiting to be admitted. I don't know who they are. So this application is for phase 2 of the multifamily residential development at Willits Avenue, 384, 395. The application is in order for receipt. We just received it and processed it. Staff has not even begun a review. Mr. Hanfield's here. Brandon, I didn't think you wanted or were ready for a quick overview, but if you are, we don't have a share. We can share screen, but we don't have anything loaded up yet because it just got entered into the agenda.
No, I just wanted to make sure I was on the meeting. I'm happy to give the really high level overview of phase 2 if the commission would like. And I can share my screen. I don't plan on going into detail, but happy to give you the 1,000-foot view so you know what you're getting into before you start reviewing the plans. So if you'd like that, happy to give you that intro. If not, I can wait 2 weeks. It's up to you.
I'd be in favor of that. I think it's a good idea if we get as much information as possible, Mr. Hanfield.
Yeah, I'd be in favor of that, yeah.
Great. All right, so if you don't mind, I will share my screen. It's I'm only going to bring up 2 boards. They're both basically color boards of what I submitted to the town, and I will send these over for the record as well. So,
Do you wish to let these new people in, Mr. Chair, before we proceed?
Excuse me, Maureen?
And, oh, okay.
would you mind allowing me to share my screen?
One moment, Brandon.
Thank you.
You should be okay now.
Beautiful. Got it. All right. Screen 3. Okay. For the record, Brandon Hanfield with Yantic River Consultants, civil engineer representing the applicant, Waterford Woods LLC. And as Maureen introduced, we're here to discuss phase 2 of the currently under construction multifamily development. I'm sure everybody is tired of us coming in front of you by now. So, so far we have been approved for 3 buildings on the site. This is the title sheet that we were provided. And what I did is included a phasing plan on that title sheet to kind of clarify what we're proposing. So in green, buildings A, B, and C were approved originally. The clubhouse was approved a few months ago as part of phase 1. So phase 1 is A, B, C, and the clubhouse. All of the driveway networks that you see on this plan generally were approved as part of the previous. And what we did is we just have some minor extensions for parking associated with the building. So what we're proposing as part of phase 2 is building D at the north end of the site near Willits Avenue. And then buildings E and F, which are back in the southwest corner near the clubhouse that was recently approved. So buildings E and F are what we call the preserve, which is kind of back in the natural section. On this, you'll see the wetlands that were delineated by James Sipperly. It's the same wetlands you've seen twice before. The 100-foot upland review area is also shown in a teal color. And what I'll do is I'll just go to the second. This is sheet 2 of your plan set. And we can again dial in a little bit, but buildings E and F are back here, and generally the regulated activities associated with phase two are conducted as part of building F. So if I were to see if I can do it here, kind of drill down in here. This is building F. This is your 100-foot upland review area. This is the previously approved non-encroachment boundary. And what we are proposing is to shift that non-encroachment boundary to provide clearing limits for the construction of building F. We kept it pretty tight to the building, provided a minimum of 50 feet of no clearing to the wetlands. In general, it's closer to 75 or 80 feet. So in general, the regulated activities as part of this application that aren't within the previously approved non-encroachment area are right, this little wedge right here. It's about 6,900 or 7,000 square feet of additional upland review area disturbance. Other than that, there's no additional disturbances related to this application. This activity here, the detention basin, the non-encroachment areas stay around building E. The clubhouse has not changed. The driveway has not changed. And just to clarify what you see in red here, it was discussed at the last meeting. There is a FEMA Zone A line that goes through the center of this site. And we were able to finally secure a letter of map amendment from FEMA. And what you see in red, hatched red, is the area of Zone A that's been removed. So anything within this hatched area is no longer in Zone A. And this allows us to proceed with the applications for residential development. So it was a pretty critical piece. We were able to obtain that actually on December 31st, and we received the letter a few weeks ago. So here we are. Other minor changes you'll see in the plans. We did add a few garages off as a stub off the parking area. Those garages serve buildings E and F. Activities within the up and review area. We did add parking, a small sliver of parking, as well as a trash enclosure area. What I don't have to present tonight are the stormwater, but I'll get into that detail later. And other areas that changed, this was all parking on the original plan. We added a garage intermediate to that. So that is within the regulated area, but does not change your non-encroachment and does not have an impact on impervious surfaces. And that in general, those are the changes. So through one garage is within the upland review area. Two garages are right up to the upland review area. A little bit of parking. None of that changes non-encroachment. And like I said, the only additional disturbance area you'll see is that 7,000 square feet next to building F. I'm happy to go into more detail or just leave it at that and let the review happen, or answer any questions.
Now, are they going to be residential structures again, like apartments? Is that what we have going on?
Yes, there'll be a similar, so these are 36 units apiece, so 72 additional units back here. And building D is 34 units.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Brandon, earlier in your comments, you mentioned that the driveways remain generally the same. What does generally remain?
It's a good question. I'll use this sheet to dive into that. So in green, you can see what was approved. So we had a cul-de-sac back here. And this parking was put in for the clubhouse. And as we work our way around, you'll see dashed green areas that are indicative of the approved limits of parking. And that goes all the way around. And in general, what you see is our parking got smaller. And that's because the Planning and Zoning Commission adopted new regulations with regards to parking. And that applies to both the size of the parking spaces as well as the quantity that's required. So they reduced what's required for parking on a multifamily site. And really, it's more in line with what we're seeing out there. So a lot of towns around us are, 1 to 1.25 to 1.3 cars per unit. Waterford was 1.5 to 2. And so, basically we're over parking these sites and having a lot of empty spaces. This is more in line with what we're going to see on this property and still have plenty of spaces left over. So what you really see is most of our parking has been reduced from what was approved, except for the additional parking off the road for building D. So like I said, the limits of the parking and the roads are generally the same, except for those areas outside the green where we added parking. Reduce parking, reduce parking, reduce parking. And then as we get back here, anything outside the cul-de-sac is new.
Does by virtue of the P and Z changes for the parking requirements, does the size of the parking stall change?
It did. It went from a minimum of 180 square feet or 9 by 20 or 10 by 18 to 9 by 18 consistent. So basically we save about 12% impervious just on the size of the space alone across the whole site. And that has a ripple effect on all the infrastructure. So stormwater treatment, stormwater quality, stormwater quantity, everything gets positively impacted by that zoning change.
So the width of each stall is now 9 feet. What was it before?
They were 10 feet wide by 18 feet deep or 9 feet wide by 20 feet deep. Now they're all 9 feet wide by 18 feet.
Okay. Any other questions from the commission?
Good overview. Thank you.
Thank you for allowing me to do it.
Okay, I guess we'll await the drawings for review, and thank you very much.
Thank you and have a great evening.
You as well.
We will, staff will be putting out a packet for you for the plans and the documents we received yesterday, and you'll have plenty of time to review it before next scheduled meeting.
Okay,
And we can actually go back out to that property and see this with the new plans then. Can we go with Maureen?
As part of the application, that's allowed, yes. And we
Great.
still have active permits on the rest of the site.
There is a construction trailer as you enter the site. On the left side, there's usually somebody in there from the applicant's office and the contractor's office. So just check in. There's a lot going on, and I'd hate to see, a lot of framing going on and things above aerially. So I just want them to be aware. But it's easy to get back there now. It's paved, and you can actually drive and park right in this area here, so you don't have to walk all the way back. So you can park here and walk along the path that you walked before and get right back there, and it's easy to get in.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
okay. Moving on to item number 5, correspondence.
Yeah.
No.
We don't have any correspondence to discuss
Okay.
tonight, the agenda or on the meeting packet.
All righty, I guess we're ready for adjournment.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Thank you very much, folks.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Thank you. Night.
Good night, everyone.
Take care.